All right, welcome, welcome to the Rocky Series podcast. Rocky Series podcast, going the distance. I'm your host Ryan,
and here's your host.
Wow,
that's an entrance for those watching on the or listening on the podcast. You didn't see it.
You did not see, but Ruben made a grand entrance.
Cheers, Ryan.
All right, Ruben. Hey, it's good to be here.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be here as well.
Whoa.
Cow.
I don't know. Okay, I know why that's there because I'm on a free. Sorry, I'm on a virus infested. Stand by.
It's like Kelly and Kitty part 2.
It is because. Okay.
You know when you're on those the free websites. Anyways.
Okay, Ruben. Good to be here. That's embarrassing. Okay. Hi.
You got time for a little story?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first, let's just say,
please,
Ruben,
Ryan,
how are you doing today?
Pretty good. I got a vitamin C drink.
Vitamin C and water.
Wash down an Advil. It's just the percolating of a little headache. Hey, if you got a headache, maybe we'll add to that.
Okay. So, Ruben, you got a story for us?
Yeah. Okay. So years ago, I worked at. I had 2 jobs, one doing pizza delivery and 2 working at this campsite, Goldstream. Google it. It's a beautiful campsite. And anyways, when I was delivering pizzas, you drive around as one does. And I'd always see this woman jogging.
Okay.
I would see her jogging. This will mean nothing to those around here, but I'd see her jogging in View Royal. I'd see her jogging in Colwood. I'd see her jogging in Langford, all these different. I'm like, man, she's jogging everywhere. And so in my head, I just called her Jogger Girl.
Okay.
And my wife was like, Jogger Girl. She did not like this term. And she kind of thought that perhaps, I don't know, that she was something to behold.
Okay.
And to her fairness, whoever, maybe she is something to behold to somebody else. But myself, no. It was just admirable. She's just jogging everywhere all the time.
So the recap so far, you saw a girl in various places within the neighborhood at different times throughout the days.
Different neighborhoods.
Oh, she just jogged.
Huge distances apart.
Okay.
Like almost like a 10K kind of radius type of thing. Like she's really going for it.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Yeah, again, impressive. And this is quite often. I'm just driving around delivering pizzas and here she is jogging. Anyways, I also, as I mentioned, worked at this campsite. And so I'd go and check people in their campsite. Like they'd check themselves in and then we'd go and collect money. And I go up to this campsite and it's just a single car, a single tent, and a single woman. And it's Jogger Girl.
Wow, so she's at your place of employment at the time now.
Yes.
Wow.
In a forest.
Wow.
By herself camping. And I said, hey, I know you. I've seen you around. She said, huh? Goes, well, I deliver pizzas and I just see you jogging everywhere. I see you in View Royal, I see you in Colwood and Langford, and I just call you Jogger Girl. And as I was describing that I've seen her around town.
Well, she must have just been head over heels about this.
she you can see the body language in her face going, scared. And then we do these routine things, so like driving around the campsite, make sure everything's okay. Long story short, she left her tent, went with her car, and didn't come back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you scared off Jogger Girl.
So fast forward to today.
Okay.
I saw her jogging again.
Oh, okay. I've actually wanted to tell our audience that I've heard that first story.
Okay.
But the audience hasn't. So I was enjoying hearing it again, but I haven't heard the second part, obviously.
So I saw her today.
Okay.
Jogging again. And I'm really happy for her because it looks like it's been a very long time since she's gone jogging.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So she's back doing it again after some break. Maybe, did you break?
I think I'm. Jogging music, running music in the world? You ready? Do you know?
The best running music in the world is this. Cue the music. Oh, what happened here, bro?
Not sure.
We're still live. It's just something happened to our YouTube channel. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. All right, the music has been cued. The music has been played. Welcome, everybody. This is exciting. Last week we had Kyle on. Ruben wasn't able to be here last week because he was at his daughter's play rehearsal. How did that go? How did that rap go?
Good. For those that maybe missed an episode or two back, my daughter was in The Little Mermaid, and I got roped in. It's a children's play.
Right.
And I got roped in to do a rap.
We should post that picture on our Rocky Series podcast Facebook page to show Ruben in his rapping outfit.
Yes.
How gangster were you?
Oh, pretty gangster. I kind of did an homage, I guess you could say, to Flavor Flav.
Okay. Good.
Flavor of Love. That was his show with Bridget Nielsen.
Yeah, that's right. That's the Rocky connection.
Yeah, so there's always a Rocky connection.
That's right. The 6 Degrees of Rocky. So you impersonated Flavor Flav.
Uh-huh.
He was married at one time to Bridget Nielsen, who was one time married to Sylvester Stallone. And it is crazy. Now let's talk about last week. We did the charity fight between Thunder Lips and Rocky Balboa. And if you haven't heard that episode yet, I highly recommend it. Thunder Lips provided a lot of innuendo in that episode. And just listen to that episode, the one previous to this one.
I look forward to listening to it, Ryan.
Yeah, it's really good. And this is Kyle. Thank you for stepping in for Ruben.
It's weird that there's listeners out there that are more up to date than I am right now. That's just the name. As Thunderlips said in Rocky in the charity match, that's just the name of the game. That's just the name of the game. It's very wise. Very wise of Thunderlips to say such things.
So right after that charity fight, we'll get right into it. We've got a lot to talk about. We see Rocky and his son, Rocky Jr., riding around his mansion. The scene here is brutal. I mean, like, incredibly, like, brutal as far as, like,
wealth.
Thank you. Populence and wealth. Rocky's driving a makeshift, I don't know what kind of car this is, Rube.
I would say it's a golf cart that looks like a Model T.
Oh, wow. Bravo. Okay, so it's a golf cart that looks like a Model T. I like that. I don't know my cars very well, but I would say that's a Model T. The license plate is 477311.
Do you ever check out websites and phone numbers on shows?
Mm-hmm. I have. You know, if you're watching, especially like whatever show, and it's like they make up a fake website, .com, and often the studio knows you're going to do that. So but it's fun.
It is. Yeah. Well, it kind of reminded me of a phone number. 477 is a popular prefix in Victoria.
That's right. It is.
Yeah.
So here Rocky is spending some early morning time with his son, riding around the yard in their little golf cart. He's got his arm around him, and he's reciting the story of Pinocchio to his son. When I see stuff like this, there's a part of me that feels like, am I a lousy dad? Do you ever get that when you see some of these?
I'll tell you what this reminds me of.
Okay.
Of the moments that our dad spend with like our kids. Now our dad had he didn't have his father left him when he was 3, and he had a drunk. No, don't bring this up. Ryan says, "Don't bring this up."
Not our dad.
Not our dad. I'm just saying they had an opportunity to be a good father, and they didn't do it.
That's a better way to say it.
And so I grew up with my father recognizing that he's able to spend time with his kids.
Especially his grandkids too now.
Where he didn't have that privilege and opportunity.
Right. And
when I see this, it just reminds me of that. Here's a man relishing in the fact he's able to spend time with his son.
And that's a good point, Ruben. And it's a very good point because Rocky is spending time with his son, and we don't get any mention of Rocky's father.
Well, nobody came to the wedding.
His parents, no, they could be passed away. They could have passed away.
We don't know.
But we don't know. I wonder why Stallone didn't write anything about the external family at all.
Now,
because he's very close to his mom, for example.
In real life.
In real life, that's right. Sorry, Stallone is very close to his mom.
Well, that's what he said.
His brother. Yeah. But there's no family written in the Rocky movies other than his own family.
I have a theory, and this isn't really Stallone based, but there's so often when you're watching a movie or a TV show where the parents, they live far away.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to not have that complication.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, I like it.
So, anyway, so I don't know if that was the case, but it does add a sense of mystique. What gives him the lone wolf?
Yeah, he's a bit of, but it makes him show his love for his family even more. We definitely see that he loves his son. He's spending time with his son, and during this sequence, his son goes, "Are you fighting again, Dad?" Because he says, "No, I'm not fighting again soon or today or something like that." Because the son was like, "Well, I don't want you to go." So already we've seen this young boy's life when his father trains for fights, and he has been very busy these last few years fighting, that he's been away from the family. So the son is really enjoying this bonding moment with his dad. And the first question, one of the first questions that he asks is, "Are you leaving me again?" And he's like, "No, I'm going to be around for a while." And they said, "Let's go have some breakfast." You want some Wheaties, he says. You want some Wheaties? Because Wheaties are the breakfast of champions.
I wonder if Stallone was ever.
I don't think Stallone was ever on the Wheaties box, but he might have been on, maybe the Rocky character was. So here's an outside shot, Ruben, of the mansion. This is a cool scene here because we've got the limo waiting outside the mansion, and we've got the limo driver patiently waiting his people about to come into the car.
I like the white walls on the wheels.
Yeah, they're called white walls, and this is actually not very good here. These are thicker. Anyways.
Yeah.
Solvent that we would use on the white part of the tire to make it white. So before they go through the car wash, we'd have to get this, like, we spray this around the white wall, and then we scrub the white wall to get up the nicks and dirt out of the white wall.
Whoever made that solution for the white wall tires, like at first we're like, yeah, I'm in business. I make a solution for white walls to be clean.
Not anymore.
Hope he invested wisely.
Yeah, we don't see that anymore, do we?
No. I typed in Wheaties to see if Rocky or Stallone was ever on it.
Right.
Well,
we have Caitlyn Jenner. Is Caitlyn Jenner on?
No, no, but Bruce is on there.
Are you sure? Just Google. I thought Caitlyn Jenner was on the. I thought for sure she was an Olympic champion. Okay.
No.
Good for her. I thought for sure. Oh man, I gotta. All right. Okay, so the next scene now is they're sitting down. I like the continuity here. The next. I'm not going to say what Ruben showed me because there's no chance that Stallone's ever going to watch our show. But if there is, I don't want him to see this, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so the next scene is they're around the breakfast table, and Paulie's at the table with them eating breakfast. Paulie has a paper and a beer. What I love is Paulie's awake at this time. So if he's definitely a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like he's awake at normal hours. But he's got his beer in his hand at the breakfast table. And his son is Rocky's son is eating his Wheaties, just like we heard that was going to happen. Rocky telling another fairy tale. Tokyo one going out doing the Three Bears.
Crazy. Well, kids like stories.
They do like stories.
They do.
But this is where I feel like I'll tell you, Ruben, I'm a pretty good parent. I'm pretty good. Like, I have a lot of flaws and I have a lot of things I can work on.
Absolutely. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. But I'm not the best at stories. Reading them.
I'm not sure if storytelling qualifies one as a good parent or a bad parent.
Okay. Well, if it qualifies, I don't qualify. Rocky here is definitely
Aesop fables. Aesop, he told a lot of stories, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't a parent.
Okay.
Do you know why that is?
Why?
He was a castrated slave.
Oh.
So it's unlikely he had many kids.
True.
He was not a good parent.
All right, so Rocky's telling the story of the Three Bears.
Well, maybe Stallone's a good parent. I'm saying
I think he might be.
He writes stories for a living. So he could probably tell a story.
He probably is a storyteller. Yeah, I could see that. He seems to do it naturally in these movies, and he writes movies. And he's obviously raised three lovely young daughters who are all seem well adjusted in the media spotlight, and you don't ever hear about them in any scandalous type stuff.
No.
Unfortunately, his first two sons didn't fare as well. His first son, Sergei Stallone, is through no fault of anyone's his genetics. He has some autism or heavily autistic, I think, to some degree. I don't know what exact medical condition is. And then, of course, Sage Sloan passed away. But anyway, so they're talking about the three bears, and Paulie said that, well, the son asked, Rocky Jr. asked, well, what happened to Goldilocks? And Paulie said, well, she was busted for trespassing. 30 days in the cooler she got.
Cooler.
In the cooler, yeah. I love that. So they're all sitting down, and Rocky's dressed up with a suit and tie, and Adrian comes down, dressed up very pretty, and Paulie sees her, and he says, hey, Miss Bellboy, you look almost pretty there.
I think it's just that generation of...
Or Mrs. Stallion, you almost look pretty. And she goes, oh, thanks. I'm not sure if she... She wearing a bra? There's nothing wrong with that, but this was 82. I don't
know.
that will be edited out. Don't worry. But all right.
Well, she just has the emotional support of her husband. That's all the support she needs.
That's all the support she needs. That's all the support Rocky needs too. So Rocky doesn't wear a bra either. All right. So they're all dressed up. At this point in the movie, if you're seeing this for the first time, you don't know why they're dressed up. But we'll tell you right now, it's early in the morning, and they're about to go to Rocky's statue unveiling. Mm-hmm. But what I find out about this, Rube, is why isn't the kid going?
Yeah, why would he not?
And why isn't Paul?
I think that's part of the generation where the kid stays at home, out of sight, out of scene. Where we would be like, hey, come on, kids.
Yeah, I mean, your father, and he's about what? Well, how old do you think he is here? 5, 6, 5 at least? Like Jackson's age, my son?
Yeah.
So he's at least 5 years old.
Yeah.
If I was being honored by Victoria at a statue or whatever presentation, I don't think Rocky knew what was going to happen. He just knew that the city was going to give us some sort of award.
But then again, I sometimes wonder for things like this, if it's just easier writing.
Maybe.
Just like it's easier to have the kid at home. You don't have to worry about child labor laws.
That's true. Well, a lot of kids are in a lot of movies, though. How hard is it? I mean, think of all the shows out there. There's a lot of children actors. Rocky's got, the Rocky series has 1 for the first 3. They have to worry. First 4, after that, it's not really child law anymore. But anyways, the kid's staying home. Mm-hmm. He's going to be watched by Uncle Paulie.
Nice. Like, Ryan, no offense, but I trust you to watch my kids. But if it was the morning and you're drinking a beer, watch my kid. I'd be like, hey. And Rocky says, don't give him any. Well, Rocky did tell Paulie, don't give him any beer. Well, all right. And don't take him to the track. I guess the rest is fair game. I guess so. Interesting.
Yeah. All right. So now we cut to the scene with the statue. Ruben, what do you see? Okay, so we have a band playing, school band playing.
Okay.
Playing the Rocky theme. Mm-hmm. Okay, are you following me here?
Well, because the Rocky theme only existed,
right? So if you're
as a background music for a movie,
that's right.
So how would the school band know?
Yeah,
that exists.
This Rocky 3 gets very meta. Rocky 3 is the most meta of all the franchise film. Ranges itself so much. This is one of many examples. Down. So number 1, don't look at the screen right now.
Okay, not looking.
You can look at me.
Oh, I'll look at you, Ryan.
So the high school band, if it's LHS, so something high school, L, I don't know what the high school. The Rocky theme music going to fly now. Uh-huh. So in the world of Rocky, put it this way, it'd be like if you're in a Star Wars film and Luke and Leia go to the cantina, whatever, and they're playing the Star Wars theme in the cantina.
Yes.
Like, that's what's happening here.
Doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But we're the audience, so I'm sitting in the theater, seeing time. 80s thing? Is it just a lazy, why would this school
99% of the population watching it never clues in on this, and they probably didn't think, okay, close to 40 years from now, people will be podcasting and picking apart this movie.
Well, that's the beauty of podcasting, is that we're picking this apart. That's one thing. So that's the one meta thing in this film that I'll point out right now. The other meta thing, of course, was just the whole Hulk Hogan scenario. The wrestler, wrestling is fake, meatball, all that meta self-referential stuff there. The other meta thing, we'll get into it later, but this is the first big one is the band is playing the Rocky theme song. And then, Ruben, look at the drum kit. What's it say there, Rube?
Well, it's Mr. T.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
So in one scene, we have two meta references. Mr. T is written on the snare drum, and they're playing the Rocky theme music in the Rocky universe. So kind of weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, there you go.
Maybe it's Mr. T's snare drum.
Now you could argue, say, oh, maybe it belongs to Mr. Thompson's music class.
Oh, please. As if they wouldn't know that Mr. T's starring in the movie.
Is that crazy, Rube?
That is.
We'd like to thank Kyle Peterson for that catch.
Oh.
So right now they're playing.
Thanks, Kyle Peterson.
Look at these guys there. So they got the band playing. Oh, it's Abraham Lincoln High School. Oh, Lincoln High.
No.
In Lincoln High School. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Lincoln also went by Leroy. He was very popular in the...
So they're at this band, and then Mickey says, whatever happened to those quiet, tender moments?
Please. As if he's had any quiet, tender moments.
And then Adrian laughs at that joke, and then Rocky shushes them. Hey, shush. Come on now. This is my thing. This is an honor of me.
Yeah, if you want to have a quiet moment, pull out your hearing aid.
That's true. So the band ends. Everyone's cheering and having a good time. And this mayor does a big speech about Rocky being Philadelphia's favorite hero.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is, again, meta. Because we know in real life, it's almost this movie is so self-referential to Stallone's own life. It's crazy. Statue. And we had an interview with Robin Schubert Nichols. I think it's episode 12 or something like that on our podcast. So great episode. We got some good behind the scenes stuff about the statue. This is one of 3 statues that were made for the film. The one that was used, and this is the statue was placed where it is here in the movie at the top of the stairs by the Philadelphia years, and as you don't bounce back at the bottom steps, and it's a real deal. It's a real deal storage. He went to this guy's house, the sculptor's house. He did the pose in his boxer shorts and everything, and all that good stuff.
Did I ever mention that I've seen the statue in real life?
Yes, Ruben, you have mentioned that you.
Yeah, like I ran up the steps.
You've ran up the steps
in Philly.
Yeah,
city of brotherly love.
Okay,
and got some pictures with the statue, climbed on it, touched it.
Yeah, so Ruben is poking a little bit of fun at me because Ruben has been to Philadelphia. He has done all those things that you do when you're in Philadelphia. I have not been there.
No, you haven't.
Hey, Tyler Morgan, what's going on, brother? Tyler is a new fan of ours. Say hi to Tyler.
Hey, Tyler. I watched. My kids love the old Muppet Show, and we watched the episode with Stallone on there. He gotta bring that up. Let's not forget Rocky. Hey, Ryan, let's keep going. Being on the Muppet Show in terms of meta.
Yeah,
absolutely. Have you seen that one?
The Rocky on the Muppet Show?
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up very well.
Oh, what can you do?
Sorry, I just read that now. I was thinking about how to introduce Tyler. Sorry, I just read Tyler's comment now. I thought you were just talking about the Muppet Show on your own. My apologies.
No, I brought it up because
Tyler brought it up. So Tyler, he's got his own comedy show. It's what's it called again? You'll have to forgive me, Tyler. If you put it in the chat there, we'll plug you. So it's a funny show. It's him and his buddies do this like comedy troupe type stuff, and they've released a video that I really, really think is very, very funny. It's called like Racist Dave or something like that. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So Tyler, if you want to plug on here. So this is Rocky, Philadelphia's favorite son. I wrote down some of the things he says here. Oh yeah. So he says every now and then somebody comes along that defies the odds and defies logic.
Well, this movie defies logic.
But so you're okay, Ruben, think about you were in charge.
It's a backhanded compliment.
It sounds like a backhanded compliment.
Yes.
So I like the first part, defies the odds.
Very good.
Very good. Stallone, again, this film is self-referentiating Stallone, his life, and the Rocky character, but really, so Philadelphia really did adopt Stallone and the Rocky character to this day, and some people hate that that live in Philadelphia, but for the most part, the city has embraced the character. So you got this mayor saying Philadelphia has made Rocky their own. Okay, and they've created a real statue that's really there right now. So this statue that's in this movie is really there.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So it's the end result is that life is imitating art.
Life is imitating art. It's this movie is just crazy. It's really crazy.
Well, I think the statement defies logic. And we can never ask the mayor and his counselors behind him there because I'm sure they're all dead by now.
These actors are dead. This was 35 years ago. So these gentlemen who played the councilman, I doubt they're alive. And then he mentions that Rocky has done tireless participation in charity functions. So that's kind of why they're here. So Rocky's not here being honored because he's just a worldwide champion of boxing.
All-around good guy.
All-around good guy. Tireless participation in charity functions. Not bad.
Well, tireless. That kind of makes it sound like you never get tired. Like he hasn't really done enough. I know that's not what it means, but.
And we're celebrating the indomitable spirit of man.
He can't be dominated.
He cannot be dominated.
He's indomitable.
So we're all wondering at this moment watching the movie, what's underneath that cover? Let's pull it back. We're just waiting for him to pull it back because the mayor's still talking here. Pull back. It makes this big like obviously it doesn't make that in the real world, but the sound effects people made this like unveiling sound. It's it's really interesting.
It's a windy day there, and some of the counselor's hair is moving in the background there. Look at that comb over. Holy cow! Look at that.
That guy's dead. He's dead.
Oh yeah.
There it is. It's a beautiful statue, Rube.
It is.
Someone's looking at the statue. Sorry, Rocky's looking at the statue for the first time. He's like, and it is a great statue. And Adrian says that's beautiful, and Mickey goes, "It's a thing of beauty, all right." And everyone's clapping and cheering Rocky, and it's just great right now. So at this moment, right now, if they were to freeze frame this moment, Rocky's been adopted by the city. Statue has been made in his honor. He's about to announce something to the crowd. So everything, so everyone's just cheering his name. He's just overwhelmed. He's about to go give his speech, and he just basically says he's very touched. That he's done this. So Tyler is saying "Lives Dudes." Is that right? That's the name of his show.
Yes.
We'll show that link on our website.
You get my joke?
I don't want to talk about a molesting joke. Yes. Rocky hasn't been, maybe that's why he doesn't talk about his parents. You want to go there? Yeah. He doesn't talk about his dad because his dad touched.
Well, if you're overthinking it, it's not funny.
Well, no. Let's break this joke down. All right. So Rocky is now retiring for the third time. Again, he was recommended to Rocky 1 by Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
You ever think about retiring, kid? That was in the first movie.
Yeah.
In the second movie, after he fought Apollo and they're in the hospital, Adrian says, there won't be another rematch. My husband is officially retired. So he had officially retired even before he got the surgery on his face after that fight.
Uh-huh.
And now he's officially retiring again for the third time in Rocky 3.
More times than Kiss.
Yeah. So he's really heartbroken about the idea about retiring, and people are like, no, don't retire. But they're just looking at him like, you tell them the idea that he's. And one of the best scenes coming up is coming up. Mr. Clubber Lang.
Yes.
It's in the crowd. So Clubber Lang has followed him in the boxing ring.
He's stalking him.
He is stalking him.
Yeah. He's a predator going after his prey.
Would you say he's stalking him in the night? His prey in the night?
What I don't know what you're referring to.
Are you joking?
I'm not joking.
We just quoted the Eye of the Tiger song.
I did it unknowingly.
Well, stalking his prey in the night.
Yes.
Yeah. So Mr. T, well, we should say that Clubber Lang has the Eye of the Tiger. He is truly stalking his prey in the night.
It's even more meta.
That's what I mean. I can't keep what with this movie. I don't know where I'm talking about the movie and the life behind the movie, if that makes sense. So somebody yells out.
Go on.
Yeah. It's
quite a cliffhanger there, right?
Just give me a second.
Let's save the cliffhanger.
All right, here we go.
Cliffhanger movie.
All right, he says, "Don't give him no statue. Give him guts. Give him guts."
What does that mean?
Well, courage.
Who says he doesn't have courage?
Okay. There's a lot in this speech. We're going to break it down. Trust me, we're going to have to break down this whole bit here because Clubber just keeps throwing poop at the wall.
Do you know?
No, 1,200. Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know it was that.
I don't know who was notable that got rejected. Maybe it's too early to bring up who got rejected for his trainer.
Well, Ruben, I just saw you yawning. Are you okay,
dude? I've had a week.
No, I know.
Yeah,
hang in there.
And I'm happy to be here. Don't let my yawns and blurry eyes.
All right, so Clubber said.
It's early to bring up who auditioned for his trainer, Clubber Lang's trainer,
Morgan Freeman.
Oh, so you do know?
We talked about this.
We have.
Yeah,
oh.
I think you told me. Yeah, Morgan Freeman auditioned to be like a side character, like one of Mr. T's.
Can you imagine a whole like movie, and he got Morgan Freeman narrating it?
That'd be awesome. So he says, and then he goes on to say, and I want to preface this, but we're not going to bring up like racism or race. I don't want to speak for any other person other than ourselves. But Mr. T says something here, and Clubber Lang says something here that I don't know how to say this, but he says politics have been keeping him down. He says politics have been keeping me down. This country wants to keep me down. They don't want a man like me to have the title. And I'm like, oh, now, does racism happen? Yes.
Maybe he's talking about his mohawk.
But and I don't want to be. But I'm talking to the movie world here.
Okay,
who's the guy that was just the champion before him, before Rocky?
I hear what you're saying.
It was Creed. For a long time, Creed was the best, and he was black.
Now we're from Vancouver Island, BC, Canada,
right?
And our experience with racial harmony has been there's a zero issue with anybody.
Yeah, but that's unique to here, and we understand we're speaking to a lot of our audiences from the States,
and so we both have lived in the States. So I lived in New Jersey for a bit, beat up because I was white.
Sure. Anyways, and there are with some of the First Nations people. And
Sure.
So of course this exists.
Our social circle, it's just white privilege on our end.
Probably, let's just say we have white privilege, so no one gets mad at us. But that being said, I'm just curious within their universe that we're watching this film in. Clubber Lang is saying that he feels that he's not getting a shot at the title because he's black. He says that politics is trying to keep him out of the ring. And my response is, well, what about Creed? And then within Rocky 1, they also introduced Joe Frazier, who's a real-life boxer and champion. So even the Rocky world talked about Joe Frazier, and he was black. Muhammad Ali. So maybe I'm confused about how Clubber feels in this moment, that he feels that his lack of opportunity for the title at this moment. Tell me about that. But because he just says wants to keep a man like me down. So
speaking of Ali, speaking of politics, two little side notes. Rocky's house that you see then in front of the limousine and all that, the White House there, not
you're right.
Pennsylvania Lane White House, but Rocky's house mansion. That's actually Muhammad Ali's house.
Oh, really? So the house they show in Rocky 3 is Muhammad Ali's house?
Which is in Chicago.
Wow, that's really good information.
Yeah, this little tip of the hat.
Ruben, you are my research guy.
And kind of politically speaking, so when Rocky 3 came out, it opened in under 1,000 theaters, under 1,000 theaters.
Right.
But it's high grossing, and it had such a big record that it wasn't broken until 2004, I think it was, with Fahrenheit 9/11, Michael Morris movie. Broke that. It took, I guess, 20 years? Where's my math?
2,000 years,
22 years. It was a big opening.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Kind of politically mentioned politics, and you have that. You mentioned all. You mentioned that. But back to the scene there.
Rocky 3 is a highly politically charged movie. As we can see in this scene right now, Mr. T feels like he is being put down because he's not the man. Now, Balboa says that the fights that Rocky's been having are setups. And Rocky sees this and goes, ugh, setups, what are those? So Creed's just throwing a lot of stuff. He's saying he's a paper...
Creed is?
Oh. Don't.
You know Samuel L. Jackson did.
Yeah, I got Creed and Clubber Lang mixed up.
We got Rocky and Stallone mixed up.
Anyway, so Clubber Lang is saying that he's a paper champion, and the fights have been setups. Then Mickey yells back at Clubber, and this is really okay. Mickey in the next 10 minutes of this movie is actually a very schizophrenic character for me. He comes out really odd and really weird. So Mickey yells. There might have been something written about the Clubber Lang character that we don't know about, that we don't see in this movie. Maybe Mickey's done some research that we don't know about. Mm-hmm. But Mickey just yells out, "You're a disgrace to the sport." Okay, that's even as a viewer, Clubber hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah,
he doesn't come from privilege. We see that he certainly kind of trains alone, doesn't have his own entourage of like.
If he can't get Morgan Freeman, you got to go solo.
That's right. He wasn't able to get Morgan Freeman in his corner, so all he's shown is aggressive hunger, like calling out Balboa. I mean, Apollo Creed did that kind of stuff all the time.
Maybe it's just the stalking. Clubber is quite angry.
He's angry, but he hasn't done anything illegal. He's allowed to attend the fights. He can't watch this stuff on YouTube. So he goes to the fights to see how this guy fights. He doesn't have access to the fight films.
Yeah.
He's done aggressive research on the Rocky fight.
Mickey's just an old bitter man.
But that's what I mean. It's just such a weird thing. Again, Stallone wrote this. So he wrote the character of Mickey to say these words, but as a viewer, I hear the words.
Maybe it's just him calling out in the crowd. Just
maybe
the heckling, stirring the pot.
Yeah, because what's happening here actually is Clubber Lang is actually saying the truth. Mm-hmm. Now, is he doing it at a rude manner and maybe not a very polite time by saying this at his statue unveiling, kind of catching Rocky unawares? Okay, and Rocky, we all know, is not too quick, and so he's kind of like he's hearing this information, and the character is like, "What do you mean? I'm not a paper champion. I fought these fights. I won."
Sure.
He probably doesn't even understand what that means. And we can see that Clubber is street smart. He's tough. And Mickey then just yells, "You're a disgrace to the sport." And Clubber says, "Shut up, old man. You don't know where I came from." So again, we get this hint that he's hungry. He's fought his way both emotionally and physically to this moment. And Clubber is actually feeling cheated by an opportunity that Rocky got. So in a way, it's okay to sympathize with this character. He's angry, and he's just, I guess his biggest crime is that he's angry.
Yeah.
Get some water.
Later on, he found peace, according to Stallone.
The character found peace?
Yeah, Clubber Lang.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead and say what happened.
He became a born-again Christian and became an announcer.
That's right. There was talk that he was supposed to be one of the films announcing.
Well, he still might. If he's able to find, well, there's going to be Creed 3, and if Mr. T finds some time, Creed 2. I'm optimistic. Creed 2, where if Mr. T finds time with, Dancing with the Stars and all that, he could probably be an announcer again. Dancing with the Stars.
I know. Sorry, I'm doing research while you're talking. I apologize.
Oh, I know.
All right. So Mickey yells out again, "I don't care what you're ranked." So again, Mickey's like, "Mickey, that's not very good, man. Like, you should care what he's ranked."
Yes, yeah.
Like, he's ranked fairly. Clubber Lang is, and you could almost argue this is probably why Clubber Lang is a little bit angry, Rube.
Yes.
Rocky literally got his name pulled out of a hat. Right? You got in Rocky one.
Just
or was it random? I like the name Italian Stallion. That's how he got picked.
Just marketing.
So Creed picked him because it was a marketing gimmick, and Clubber is literally fighting his way to this opportunity. And whereas Rocky 1 was not hungry, he was not fighting his way to the top. So to be fair to Clubber Lang, in these very moments of his life, he is angry, and maybe he has a right to be angry. And then this doesn't work. So Rocky's been kind of quiet. He's letting Mickey talk for Rocky, but he's also looking at Rocky, and he's saying, he's looking at Mickey like, "What's going on here? I'm really confused." Like, he's kind of lost in this argument. He sees his trainer deflecting the stuff that this guy is saying in the crowd, and Rocky's a little bit confused. Like, why is Mickey so quick with the answer, so to speak? You know what I mean?
Oh, maybe he's just.
But that doesn't work. So what happens next? Clubber doesn't get him with the paper champion, and he's like, does the famous, "Hey, woman." Hey, woman.
Well, perhaps because Stallone knew that this scene was happening, he wasn't going to write to have the son in there.
Oh, interesting. So Ruben's suggesting that we mentioned earlier that the son wasn't there for this event, that Stallone knew that there would be a confrontation at this statue unveiling, that he didn't want to see his son see this angry guy yelling at his father. There might have been an upsetting scene to film with a child. Yeah, fair enough. Hey,
but this scene also provides a foreshadow that Rocky is ready to rumble in the street.
Yeah, Rocky's not afraid to throw down. He's not afraid to throw down. So he was ready to fight Clubber Lang right then and there on the steps. And I like how there's two police officers holding Lang back, and there's two police officers holding Rocky back because they were about to throw punches at each other. And I like how the cops just came out of nowhere and grabbed these guys. But before we get there, we should mention that the invitation was given to Adrian for her to go over to Clubber Lang's place and be with a real man.
Like cooking, or
maybe he needed his mohawk trimmed.
Oh, perhaps. Yeah, it should be tricky. Like the back, like the mirrors.
It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was a little bit.
Maybe he has pets, because she has a background of caring for animals.
That's true.
Let's keep this PG.
Yes, let's keep this PG.
So speaking of Rocky being ready to drop at the beat of a hat.
Okay.
I think I got my metaphors mixed up there. As we know, we talked that Stallone's very hands-on and he gets hurt and that sort of stuff.
So is Clubber Lang.
Well, trivia for you, if you don't mind. Stallone told Johnny Carson that Stallone boxed Ernie Shavers, who was twice he went for the world champion.
So Stallone actually,
probably sparred
with a real boxer.
Yeah.
How did he do?
He got hurt.
Stallone?
Yeah, Stallone did.
Yeah. But I love how he brought that up. He didn't have to advertise that. Meaning,
well, I think because he plays a champion,
right?
And that might be a little off-putting when you're playing a champion. Like you got to be flawed as a person. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, what I would hope is that any real boxer doesn't look at the Rocky movies and think Stallone, like it's an acting job, right? We see war movies. Like, does anyone look at Tom Hanks and Saving Private Ryan and say, "You don't really know what it's like to be"? Well, no, he's acting.
I think if you carry it on for so long, there can be a blend. I think it is. It's good to give a wink to the audience to say, "I'm just acting." I'll get my clock knocked out, my clock cleaned. I'm not very good with my metaphors tonight.
Is that my teeth?
Ryan's drinking some water and this game
right.
Final glass there.
Pretty funny. All right, so the fight gets broken up, and the next scene, and we'll end this episode. This is going to be episode 48. It's about to wrap up already. If you could believe it's almost been an hour.
Speaking of rapping, Mr. T has some rapping albums if you want to find them.
Does he have some rap?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, but why don't you find a rapping song? We'll wrap up with the Mr. T rap.
I need to find it. I always have it on cue.
For our few watchers that are watching right now, we're going to go over to our next link in about 10 minutes when we sign out of here to start episode 49. This is how we do it, guys. We record 2 episodes at once because we're 2 working dads. Why don't you find a rapping song? We'll wrap up with the Mr. T rap. Oh, Ruben. There you go.
I can't do anymore. I respect mothers too much.
Well, we lost all our viewers with that. That's wow. All right. Well, to our 3 viewers that were sticking around for that, they're taking off. So we'll wrap up here and we'll get into what happens after this press conference scene because all right. Did we talk about anything? This went by fast.
We covered lots.
I know, but it went by so fast. It's already been 15 minutes. Every time I do this, I think I'm Trump. When I do this, people can't see like with the hands.
The hands. You should have an accordion.
That's right. Like,
for those that don't know, just Google Trump accordion or Bing it. Ask Jeeves.
I wanted to do this is just me talking before we close up this episode. Trump is a very polarizing figure, and so polarizing the fact.
Which one?
Donald J. Trump, Donald Trump J. Jr. Senior, Donald,
like the
President Trump.
Yeah.
So President Donald Trump, he's such a polarizing figure, so much so that I
thought he was a unifier.
No, you remember when you could make fun of George Bush?
Sure, yeah.
And nobody like freaked out about it.
No.
It was weird, like Will Ferrell could make fun of George Bush. Comedians did all the time, and Bush still certainly had his supporters, right? He had his supporters,
yeah,
and he had his detractors. And Bush just kept doing what Bush does.
I like Bush about 50% of the time.
Sure, and Bush would never say anything about the press that I remember, or about people making fun of him.
No, the guy was a good sport. Remember when the shoe got thrown at him?
Yes,
he just ducked. Or you try to open up that door to dodge the press, and it's the wrong door.
Yeah.
He just laughs it off.
So what I'm getting at, Rube, is
go on.
Bear with me. I just find like a lot of
bearing with you like Burt Reynolds on a bear rug.
Oh, please. Yes, thank you. Burt Reynolds on a bear rug. If you haven't, I don't know if we've ever mentioned anybody. But if you haven't yet,
it might not be safe for work. Depending where you work, it might be very safe.
If you want to see one of the most sexiest photo spreads of your life, and I mean spread.
That's terrible.
Google Burt Reynolds on a bear rug. You might question your own. Well, you might either question your own sexuality or confirm it.
Mhm.
So Trump, what the thing about him is that I can't even tell a joke about him on Facebook, even just something so benign. It's just like I wanted to do a joke about him pulling out of France. And I was going to say something like, I didn't realize he pulled out of anything that invited him. I was going to do another joke about Trump.
It's not funny. Not our president.
No, well, we're Canadian. And another
president of the world, Ryan.
Another Trump joke I wanted to do about. It looks like Trump wants to take after again when he pulled out of the Paris agreement. I wanted to say, boy, it looks like Trump wants to take on the whole world. Who else wanted to do that? It's little jokes like that.
Yeah, I think the part is that is an agreement. I think you'd rather
the whole fact, but I can't do that because people, the Trump supporters, which is fine, you're allowed to be, are so he could do nothing. He could do nothing wrong. Anyways, that's our little political rant. We haven't done one in a while, but we don't want to.
That's nothing with politics. That's just right. That's just.
Hey, he's our president, the president of the United States.
He's the president of the United States.
So to all our American listeners, good job. You voted him. That's good. So, hey, Philadelphia, the land of liberty. We want to thank our listeners. Before we close up, I just wanted to say, follow us on YouTube. If you haven't already, subscribe to YouTube because you'll get alerts that we're on. Or a new video's been made.
I think it's subscribe YouTube, follow on Twitter, follow on Instagram. We're on Instagram?
Yeah, we're on Instagram now.
Follow on Instagram and like on Facebook.
And give us a 5-star review. Rate us. Review us.
Or 3, 2,
3. 1. Give us a 3-star review. It doesn't matter, but it helps people find our show. That's how people find our show. So anyways, we love you guys. Thanks for listening.
I like most of you.
Oh, we're about to record another episode. So if you want to listen to us again,
stay on.
Stay on.
In the meantime, ding, ding.
All right, on to the next one. Stop broadcast. Guys, go to our Facebook page and get the next link. It's there.